Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's coverage of the Skip Barber Monday Lights. We're coming to you from Le Mans in France tonight for round 7. Before we get into it, as always, welcome Alex, and it's going to be an exciting race tonight.
Certainly is, Bernie. Thanks for having me back again for round 7 here at Le Mans. First time for the Skip Barber series at Le Mans. World famous track, of course, most famous for its endurance racing, but the Skip Barbers get to stretch their legs tonight on what is a very interesting track.
Oh, it certainly is, and from what I saw in the last race, folks, keep an eye into the first couple of chicanes, because these guys seem to get a lot of speed up and get themselves into a lot of trouble.
That's absolutely right, Bernie. The first lap, you can expect to see a bit of action. We've got another really high quality field here tonight, so I'm hoping that the action's limited to overtaking moves and good driving. But I guess the race could go one or two ways. A nice tightly packed bunch for a few laps, or the field really spread out on what's an enormous track for a skippy.
Yeah, well, that's right, and it's going to be interesting to see. The other interesting thing to see, folks, is these guys are really only going to get one lap of qualifying in, and it's pretty much like a top 15 shootout here tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Bernie. The way the track is so large, unlike Nordschleife, where they did separate qualifying, the setup this week is the guys get one time lap. They start just behind the start-finish line, get a bit of a run-up, and off they go for one time lap, and if you miss out on that, you miss out entirely.
Yeah, so it looks like Josh Anderson's the first on the road at the moment, so keep an eye on him while he's coming around. Though, let's have a look at the weather tonight. So it looks like it's a clear day out there, wind speed 10k an hour, and track temp 40 degrees Celsius. So while I was saying that, looks like Colin Sudi's come across, Luke Whitten's also come across at this point.
Yeah, that's right, Bernie. You're starting to see the times get set. Nice light cluster of times. The quicker guys here, as you see with Luke there, he's just ducked under the 5-minute mark with Colin right behind him. The track temperatures and conditions today during the race, we'll see the guys drop a few seconds from there into maybe the mid 50s with the draft especially. It depends on how they race, of course, but seeing some good times set already.
Certainly have. It looks like Luke Whitten's taken provisional pole. I'm just trying to get the time he's set, a 4:59. So that's pretty quick. And then Colin Sudi second with the 5 minutes. Josh Anderson's coming into the final series of corners here, and we'll see if he can jump up. He's currently sitting in 13th.
Yeah, yet to set his time. He's just coming into the final chicanes here. Josh is number 1 plate driver here, highest I rating, and he's a good quality driver. You'd expect him to set a good time and be fairly way up the standings as he goes across the line now.
Yeah, so he jumps up to second with a 5-minute 0.076. We've got Alvaro just coming through. He didn't improve. Ben Verhoff is coming through now, currently 15th. We'll see if he can improve on that, which he does. He takes pole position with a 4:59.300.
That's a fantastic effort by Ben. He's done a few laps around here this week, I've noticed, and to pip Luke like that is a great effort. You'll notice the top 5 there, all within a second and a half, which around such an enormous track with the amount of variation you can get here between the drivers and their laps is a great effort.
Certainly is. So your top 5, folks, is Ben Verhoff will be starting from pole position. Luke Whitten second, third Josh Anderson fourth, Colin Sudi fifth, Kevin Henderson. We're missing our overseas guys tonight as well, aren't we, Alex?
Yeah, it looks like we are. We've only got three overseas drivers in Xavier, Jean-Francois and Alvaro, as the guys start thinking about taking their grid positions. Most notable absence is Enzo Cantaus here. He's currently sitting in second, but overall top spot in the Skippy series, so he'll be missed tonight, but it's an opportunity for some of the local guys to get further up the grid.
The other one we're missing is Stefano Poloniato.
Stefano hasn't made the trip back down under us, but Stefano hopefully will be back with us next week.
Yeah, can just hear the The jet's flying over as the guys grid up here, but while they're gridding up, let's quickly go through our grid. So from pole position will be Furhoff, followed by Witten out of second, third, Josh Anderson, fourth, Colin Sudi, fifth is Kevin Henderson. Sixth will be Xavier Sola, followed by Darryl Ridley. Benjamin Soko will start out of eighth. Jean-Francois Bocco Poscas out of ninth. 10th is Mick Gray. 11th, Vince Browning. Sam Catacasinos out of 12th. 13th, Russell Clark. Samuel Collins, 14th. 15th is Sanchez. The revs are rising, and Ben will start from pole. Looks like a nice clean start here tonight, Alex.
Yeah, they spread them out quite wide on the grid here, but you'll find the guys will stream over probably to the left-hand side as they try to work out how they're going to take the first few series of corners. Apologise in advance tonight, folks. The corner names are going to be challenging. I might switch to numbers in the middle. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, so it looks like Furhoff first. Witten on the outside. He's fighting for it. He might get this. And then we've got Anderson fighting for third. And looks like Anderson settled into third. But Witten, what a start.
Well done getting through there cleanly. The whole field looks to have got through pretty well there. They're going 2 and 3 wide throughout this wide section of the track before they try and position themselves well for a good run down the main straight for the first time.
Yeah, and it's really down this main straight, isn't it, that they've got to be careful when they get into the first and the second chicane here.
Absolutely, it's a wide track here, massively long straights, excellent drafting opportunities of course, and you'll find the guys will stick in this one long line, but it won't be for too long because the guys will be taking advantage of the draft, sometimes 2 and 3 cars deep in terms of their draft, and it gives them a great big overspeed. They start to approach the max speeds of the cars, and you can see already up the front, three-way battle for the lead.
Yeah, 3 wide. Witten on the inside, Furhoff in the middle, and then Anderson. Looks like Furhoff and Anderson are going to be fighting into this first chicane.
Sure does, Bernie, as the 5 of them come into the first chicane. We're looking for a clean run through here. All 5 of them got through nicely. We'll see what the rest of the field's doing. That's a fantastic effort by the field, Bernie, to get through that first chicane, but they got another bite at the cherry coming up shortly after another long straight.
Yeah, and this is where we saw a lot of carnage, didn't we? But at the moment, Furhoff is leading. Anderson's just sitting in that draft, coming out now. Witten's dropped back a little bit, and then comes the rest of the field. Look at them snake down this straight.
That's right. Oh, there's 3 wide. Alvaro, Kevin, and Jean-Francois there, briefly 3 wide down that straight, but the field, like I said, it's not many races this week you would have seen this many cars get through the first chicane as the top 5 come through the second one now. Look to again have made it pretty cleanly, which is great.
It looks like Mick Gray's got a better start here than the last race. He came to grief on that corner, and he was I think that was in his mind because he went and missed that apex a little bit and took it extra wide.
Yeah, look, I'm really impressed so far, Bernie. Like I said, I haven't seen too many races where the whole field has survived the first 2 chicanes. It's high quality, 3 wide down the main straight with Darryl sitting back in 10th place at the moment, racing with his other guys as the top 5 come into the corner at the end of the main straight now.
Yeah, we're riding with Josh Anderson at the moment, second. You can see him now coming off the corner, and we'll see how quickly he gets that draft. He's pretty much getting the benefit of that draft now.
Yeah, straight away into the draft, he'll look to head to the front. Josh is a very strong local driver. He drove the Skippy regularly a few seasons back. He's moved on to other categories. I'm sure he's come tonight for a special guest appearance, more or less. Number 1 plated car, top buy rating in the field, and looking to put in a strong performance with limited practice, I'd suggest.
I'll tell you what, down that straight, 206 kilometres per hour to Josh Anderson. They've got these Skippies totally wound up tonight.
Yeah, I saw Colin get a better use of the draft there, and as we've lost Kevin, I think by the looks he's had an accident coming into that corner there. Might just jump back and grab a look.
Yeah, it looked a bit messy there, didn't it? We're just bringing the replay up now, folks, and Alex is doing the same, and we'll talk you through what happened here. Yeah, just by the looks of it, he's had trouble there as they've gone through the turn at the end of that final straight there. Kevin looks as though he's just got into the back
Vince Browning there, unfortunately. They had an unfortunate coming together at Laguna Seca last week as well. Looks like Kevin's just misjudged how Vince was going to pull up through that corner there and just managed to tag the back of him and turn him round, and then the two of them come together and Kevin's turned into the wall. And unfortunately, it looks like he's taken with him, who's that? That's Alvaro, one of our overseas visitors, a throughway pile up there. That's really unfortunate for them.
Yeah, and there was also contact further in the field between the number 3 and the number 10. So that was, pretty sure that was Mick Gray that might have been involved in that.
Oh, that'd be a shattering for Mick. He looks to have continued on okay, so he doesn't look to have picked up too much damage if he was involved there, so hopefully he'll still carry on okay.
Yeah, and we can see Samuel Collins also in all sorts of trouble here. He was one of the cars that got caught up in the aftermath of that, and he's trying to get that car back to the pits, but he's got his hands full.
Yeah, it looks like he's carrying damage there from an earlier incident, and then he looks like as he's coming down through one of the corners, he's looped it behind traffic behind, and that's held up a couple who've managed to get through okay, but again, he'll be limping that back to the pits.
Yeah, and once that pretty much happens, they've got a fast repair, but as far as a good result goes, it's pretty much done for them. But at the moment, we've got Ben Furhoff leading, Josh Anderson followed by Luke Whitten in third, and then let's have a look who's fourth. Colin Sudi's having a great run here tonight, and your top 5, Xavier Sola.
Yeah, that's right, Bernie. You've got 5 running cleanly at the front, which is great. They're all spreading out across the main straight now. I'm just, as we were speaking off air previously, Xavier Sola's still sort of just out of rookies, but he's incredible. He's done really well in the past few weeks to get his I rating up so high, and you can see him coming up onto the back of the leaders now as Josh sort of settles to the back of that pack, see how they go through the first chicane again.
Yeah, Sudi outbraked himself though. Whitten through, Furhoff through. And Colin was looking good, but he outbraked himself, and now he's a sitting duck.
Yeah, he is up the next straight. The 4 of them sitting now behind Luke will just be hoping that they've got enough of the draft to hold on to him so that he doesn't run away. It looks like they do, and again, they're jockeying for position into the chicane that's coming up. You really want to sort of trust the guys around you to do well, and I think these guys have all shown they're trustworthy to this stage of the race, and as they position themselves into that second chicane.
Yeah, so Furhoff's coming in first, then we've got Whitten on the outside, Sudi on the inside, and they're giving themselves plenty of room. Sola's just sitting back there, and Josh Anderson, well, I think he's shadowing them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad tack here. You've got 5 long laps here as they're onto lap 2 at this stage. There's no harm in a pack that's not losing time to a leader or anything, just sitting at the back, although he's moving up a little bit now, because you've got plenty of time for people to make their own mistakes and find your way through. Although Josh moving up on the inside to the next corner, he looks like he wants to move up a little bit at this stage.
Sorry folks, hit the wrong button. We're just riding with Josh again. He got a great exit off that corner and jumped straight up into second.
Yeah, they've got a long straight now into Indianapolis. How quickly things change. Luke was sitting out at front, now he's back in 5th. Looks like Ben's got about a 1.6 second lead over the trailing 4 behind him. Hopefully, for the sake of the race, they work together and try to catch him. Otherwise, if they start playing games at this stage, Ben will just run away with it. He was the fastest qualifier, as we know, so we know he's got the pace to do so.
Oh, definitely, and he's just trying to get out of that slipstream at the moment. We'll have a look at the live gap as we're riding on the nose cam of Josh Anderson here.
Yeah, gap sitting at about 1.5 seconds from what I can tell, and the trailing 4, they're not really closing in on it, but even though they're line astern here, I would start to expect the draft to help them out if they slowly leapfrog each other in a controlled fashion. Luke Whitten down in 5th place now is almost out of the draft. The 3 in front of him may just have an opportunity to pull away from him here, which would be a shame for Luke, who's our current series leader.
Yeah, because it's absolutely vital, isn't it, with these long straights to stay in that draft. Because as you said, if you can't, you're going to be dropped pretty quickly.
That's correct, Bernie. It looks like he's out to about 1.2 seconds. He'll be hoping that the final two chicanes, forward on the final chicane there, will see the other three sort of slow themselves up, trip themselves over a bit, and he'll be able to get back on.
And further down the field, folks, Sam Katakazinos is having a great battle with Ben Soko, and Vince Browning is just coming up behind them. Vince has had a fairly poor start, I guess, to the race, but that was due to that incident, wasn't it?
Yeah, he got caught up with Kevin there again, unfortunately, 2 weeks in a row. Looks like he's fighting his way back, though. He's in a point-scoring position at the moment. It's great to see another battle pack there of 4 or 5 cars, keeping things action-packed for those guys, even though they might be a little bit further down the field.
Yeah, and we're riding with Luke Whitten now. 3 laps of this race remaining, and you can just see that gap. He's lost a lot of time. 1.6 seconds behind Josh Anderson.
Yeah, unfortunately for Luke, he's dropped off that back, and meanwhile Ben's making the best of the front running there. He's still over 1.5 seconds ahead. He almost got out to 2 seconds there, and at that stage he's well and truly clear of the draft. Any little mistake will get the guys back in on him, but for now he won't have to worry about being swamped at the first chicane.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now he's pretty much... they will probably pull him in a little bit, won't they? But whether they actually get all over him again is probably another story.
Yeah, that's right, Bernie. What you'll find is the guys, if they race smart and leapfrog each other as they look to be working together down this straight, they'll have a bit of extra speed. So Ben's doing about 200, whereas Josh, who's making his way to the front of that pack's doing about 208. So that overspeed will help, and it's already almost got them within drafting range. Luke's really dropped off here, unfortunately, and he's now got Alvaro racing with him for position as well. So it's hurt him a lot, whatever mistake put him in that position.
Yeah, well, I guess if he could work with Alvaro, they might be able to use that to try to slipstream each other back up to the pack. But 3 laps to go, I think they're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, 3 very long laps. It'll depend on how the 3 in front work together. It looks like Josh now's 1.1 seconds behind Ben in the lead, and Xavier is now drafting past him. Again, they're a couple of kph ahead of Ben, and they're now back within the draft. So they've done well there. They've worked together, and they've got back in to make one large lead pack again.
Fantastic, and we just saw there as Xavier went past Josh Anderson, you could see just how effective that draft is, and now Josh is going to get back in the draft, coming on the outside.
Yeah, you don't want to make your run too early. Now, you'll find Josh is 1 or 2 kph quicker at the moment, but you'll have Colin coming up behind them. Whether he's happy to sit there or not, we're not sure, but you don't really want to waste that draft by popping out of it too early, because they haven't really made much on Ben in that whole straight there. So they've got another long straight here after the Mulsanne corner that hopefully they can take advantage of to bring it all back together again.
Yeah, and it's really a matter of them working together. As we can see now, Whitten's just shadowing Sanchez there, trying to get that toe up. They are making inroads, and further down the track in the background, we can see Katakazinos. Boscus is in this pack with Vince Browning leading them, and then Soko. So that's a good battle pack of another 4.
Yeah, another 4 fighting for the last positions in point scoring positions in the Monday Lights Championship. Again, great pack racing. Great to see it throughout the field there. We've got two of the big main packs, and again they're running 2 and 3 wide here down the straight, hoping to sort themselves out cleanly before the end of it. And again, they look to be doing that. So they've done well there again.
Yeah, and it's great to see them all having a great run there, and we can see Katakazinos leading that pack now, and who we got Bowning now coming back into second, but he got swamped, didn't he, due to that long straight and the slipstream.
Yeah, a couple of them at the end there, Vince and Benjamin and Jean-Francois seem to have got themselves caught up on that last apex, and they risk of dropping that pack, but hopefully they'll continue on to join it. As I noticed that Luke Whitten and Alvaro up in that front group have almost bridged the gap. They've worked together really well, and we're almost looking at a pack of 6 for the lead now.
Yeah, it's great to see these guys working together, and that's pretty much what they have to do if they stand a chance of trying to get back on the podium. And at the moment, though, Furhoff, he had a huge gap, 2.7 seconds last time through, but now with all those guys working together, it's down to 1/10 of a second.
That's right. It doesn't look like Josh is going to make a move on him here. Still plenty of time. They got the balance of this lap, as short as it is remaining. It's 2 more long laps. You've still got about 10 minutes worth of racing left. I'm really impressed, as I say again, by the way the guys have approached the driving tonight. You know, this week we've actually had a really popular week on this track. Quite good numbers. I thought we were going to have the record for the season, but we just missed out. But I'm really pleased to say we've got the top strength of field for the whole week across the Skippy Series. We've got 3,300 tonight, which, you know, it's a bit down on last week, but to have the strongest field for the week is just a fantastic achievement for us here at Monday Night Lights.
Oh, it certainly is, isn't it? And we've been sort of aiming to get the highest strength of field, but to get it tonight is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I've been really surprised by the popularity of the night. Really pleasantly surprised, and I'm really pleased to see us finally take out that top split of the week. We beat all the Europeans and the Americans, and yeah, really pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, so hopefully if we can continue getting that high rating, can you imagine we might get some more international drivers come in and join us down under?
Yeah, I think we will. I think this week was down a bit on the European circuit. They had the 24-hour Le Mans event, same track, but perhaps a little bit more of a draw card for them than the Skippy Series this week. But again, once again, taking out the top one for the week, I'm really pleased. And again, we're building this series fantastically, and I look forward to it growing even more.
Yeah, so do I, and at the moment the top 6 is split into groups of 2. So, and we see this a bit, don't we, when the top 2 start getting going, all the rest sort of just drop into these little pairs.
Yeah, we can do. We had 3 laps there of 4 and 5 and 6 guys together, but you're right, we've broken up into 3 pairs up the front now. And we see Ben and Josh really have broken away now. They're almost out to a 2-second lead, and Josh is experienced enough now to really either stick with Ben and work together and fight for the win, or he might even have the opportunity to break away and take it out solo. But I'm imagining with the experience that Ben's got this week, he won't let him do that. And the other 2, as you say, the other 4 broken into 2 packs now. Yeah, I mean, it's not quite as exciting as the 6 we had, but it looks like, actually, as I speak now, we might even get a pack of 4 for the 3rd through 6 with any luck.
You can see now Josh Anderson's just tucking back in behind Ben there, getting a good run off, and where are we? Mulsanne corner, I think.
That's right. Colin Surtees was leading the next trailing pack, which is back to 3, with Luke hoping to join on the back of there. Got a poor run out of that corner, and the other 2 have swamped him. So we're back to at least a battle pack of 3, with Luke looming large in the back to make it 4. So we still got a bit of action ahead of us yet, Bernie.
Yeah, and it's great to see Colin out there having a really good run tonight. Don't want to put the mockers on the guy, but he's looking really strong. Currently sitting in 5th, and Luke Whitten, well, he's dropped down to 6th.
Yeah, well, Colin's been a regular starter here at Monday Night Lights. He's had a few weeks off for whatever reason. He's back with us tonight. He's a really quick guy, thick Scottish accent, which is always fun to hear on the servers. But great to see him having a strong run tonight, as Luke's successfully got on the back of this pack again.
Yeah, Luke's must be said he's struggling a little bit, isn't he, out there tonight compared to previous times, but he is leading the Monday Lights, and Enzo Cantor's not here, so I guess he can afford to drop back a little bit tonight.
Yeah, drop rounds haven't come into play yet, and Luke's still leading our championship. Interesting to note that Luke's the top-ranked Australian driver in the Skippy Series overall. He's currently sitting third for the World Championship ladder behind Enzo, who's currently leading. He's done a lot of racing here this week. He scored some good points. I'm sure he'd be hoping for a stronger result tonight. I think he's still a good shot at a podium if he can keep it on the black stuff and keep it straight. While he's running this pack of four, you're always a chance as they come into finish lap 4 here and move into the final lap.
Yeah, we're just seeing nose cam here. Josh is still shadowing Ben. Ben couldn't get a break that lap on Josh, so it's going to come down to these two at this stage. And I guess it's going to really come down to probably Porsche corner before we really know who's going to take this out tonight.
Yeah, you stop seeing the big effects from the draft. You have the main straight out the back with the 2 chicanes, go through Muslan, and then all the way down into Indianapolis corner. That's where you sort of see the end of the draft having big effects. So they'll be trying to position themselves well into that Indianapolis corner for this last lap, and we'll see how the strategy plays out down this final trip down the straights.
Yeah, so as we're coming down, we're a Tetra Rouge corner, I think we're coming into, folks. I'm just practicing the names here, but I think that's where we're at now.
Yeah, I'm just going to call it in 6, mate. That's one of the ones I had a mouthful trying to pronounce earlier in the week. I've also just seen there's a good battle for 7th and 8th between Mick Gray and Russell Clark. Russell's just taken Mick for position there as they head onto the main straight for the final top. He gets really loose out of that. That'll cost him his run and any chance of gapping Mick there. Mick will run past him there, and Russell will just try and tuck back in for the toe for this final lap.
Yeah, we saw him just getting loose. The camera jumped on him, but at the moment, Ben on the inside, Josh just sitting there. He doesn't want to take the lead yet. He's happy just to sit in second. And then further down, we have Sanchez Sola and Colin Sudi. Luke Whitten's pretty much dropped off the back of this pack.
Yeah, Luke's missed out there. It looks like he'll be settling for 6 at this stage, incidents notwithstanding. The 3 in front of him, Colin, Xavier and Alvaro, they're working pretty strongly. They're only 1.4 seconds behind Josh. Surprisingly, they haven't been battling or anything. These guys have just been using the draft to get back in. Looks like they might have even dropped Colin there as Xavier makes a move on Alvaro down the balance of that final straight as they come into the second chicane now, as Alvaro looks like he might be coming back at him on the inside.
Sorry folks, if you heard that ding, that's my computer telling me it wants to restart. So let's hope that doesn't happen right on the last lap here.
Yeah, hopefully we can postpone that to the end because it's shaping up to be a good race. It looks like whilst Alvaro and Xavier have almost dropped Colin out of the draft, he probably hasn't got enough drafting opportunities left to get on the back of them. They've almost got back on to Josh and Ben here as Xavier just moves past Alvaro there. Josh is sitting in behind still. He's got one drafting opportunity as they go through Mulsanne for the last time. He's got this last long straight to draft, and he'll be looking probably to make a move into Indianapolis, as we were saying before.
Yeah, and sitting in second here, he's probably in the box seat, isn't he, considering how strong these drafts are.
Absolutely. He looks even still not to be taking advantage of it quite yet. It's quite a long straight. You don't want to give your opponent the chance to redraft past you before the end of the straight. Looks like Colin's almost come back onto the back of Xavier and Alvaro because Xavier didn't want to pass either. So interesting tactics coming into play.
Yeah, we're riding with Josh Anderson there. You could actually hear him lifting the throttle just to keep himself from overtaking there.
Yeah, look, they're almost back into a pack of 5 now as things shape up to the final few corners of the race. The guys are racing nice and clean. No one really showing their hand. Oh, Collins lost it out the back of Arnage there and put it into the wall, ending his night, unfortunately.
Oh, it's a huge shame, isn't it? But at least the track's so wide, he hasn't hit the wall, but Colin will have to settle for 6 as long as he can get that up to speed. At the moment, though, it's all between Furhoff and Anderson. Now Anderson's having a look.
Yeah, he's going around the outside here. Looks like Ben's been able to hold him off. Oh, Josh, I've just lost Josh there for a second. I think he might have had internet issues. If that's the case, Beats just handed Ben the win, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've lost Josh Anderson. Now he's back. Yeah, he disappeared on my screen as well, but thank goodness he is back. Thought his computer might have restarted.
Yeah, he lost a bit of an opportunity there by the looks. There's not much left. I doubt Josh, he's got a good run here. He's got 2 chicanes left through the Ford and the final chicane. He's going... Oh, they're having a bit of a dance here. Ben's taken the line through that chicane. He's got 1 chicane left. Josh, yeah, he's done the smart thing there. He hasn't been both their races. Oh, we've lost... Who's that? We've lost Alvaro through the last chicane, handing Xavier the final position on the podium. Alvaro just got a bit loose there through the final chicane, probably having big eyes for maybe grabbing second spot, but it's only cost him 1 in the end.
Yeah, it was a fantastic finish to that race, wasn't it? And I tell you what, Josh Anderson didn't let Furhoff run away with it at the end, which I thought Furhoff was going to do it because he had a huge gap in the first couple of laps.
Yeah, he did. I thought he might get a good win out of that. He managed to get the break and really clear out from the draft, but the other guys worked sensibly together. I tell you, Josh took the most advantage out of that, probably raced the smartest in there, but I'd have to say the biggest mover was Alvaro, who finished in 4th there. He was up 11 places, qualifying last. I don't know if he just missed his lap at the start or he didn't set a time. Let me just check, but 11 spots there up through that quality of field says a lot about Alvaro. Yeah, he actually missed setting a time in qualifying. What an outstanding result for him.
Oh, that's a brilliant result, isn't it? And it really goes to show that if you drive wisely, which he did, probably using all that draft, he's got himself into a very good position by the end of the night.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the number 2 plate driver. He's from the Iberian club, so Spanish most likely by nationality, and he's just raced through that field. When you think strongest field of the week, not setting a qualifying time, he would have been concerned by that. But then to race through and grab 4th spot and really cost himself a podium on the last corner. It could have been even better still. What a great result.
Yeah, we can just see now Samuel Collins coming across the line. Samuel was involved in that incident probably the first lap, I think it was. Had to pit that car, but he has finished in 14th. The only retirement we had tonight was Kevin Henderson after that big incident. I think, I think that was on lap 1 coming into Indianapolis.
Yeah, it was. It's a shame for Kevin. He's had a tough run. Having said that, this season, he's still sitting in 3rd in the Monday Nights Championship overall. So, obviously, he'll take this as a drop round. He's a regular competitor here. He's 2nd most cap driver here behind Jason Willman. But I'm not sure if I mentioned it already, but it's a testament to the strength of the field. 2nd week in a row, Jason, who's one of our regular top competitors, sitting 11th in the championship at the moment, has been relegated to the 2nd split. So, again, a really strong, high quality field tonight.
Oh, it certainly was. And anyway, let's have a quick look at the results so you can see where your favourite driver finished, and then we'll have a bit of a discussion around the point score, where it was, and sort of guesstimate where it could be next week. But the win goes to Ben Furhoff tonight. He was our pole sitter, and he takes the win, followed by Josh Anderson in 2nd, 0.4 of a second down. Xavier Sola takes 3rd after Alvaro Sanchez had a bit of a spin in the final corner. He finishes in 4th. Luke Whitten comes home in 5th. He got past Colin Sooty, who also had a spin. I think that was in Mulsanne corner, maybe. I don't know. 7th, Mick Gray. Yeah, Mick Gray had a good run. Russell Clark home in 8th. Ben Soko, 9th. 10th was Sam Catacasinos. 11th, Darryl Ridley. We didn't see much of him at all tonight. Then Jean-Francois Bosco. that'll do. In 12th, 13th, Vince Browning, 14th, Samuel Collins, and Kevin Henderson, 4 laps down, retired from tonight's race.
Yeah, well, what an exciting race. I thought it could go one of a couple of ways with the packs forming and then or splitting out into little racing pairs. Interesting to see both kind of happen throughout the race. We had that big pack for a couple of laps, then they split up briefly and came back together. It was almost like a soap opera there for a while, Bernie. It was exciting to watch.
Yeah, it certainly was, and the impressive thing was how clean that race was. Yeah, we saw one minor incident, but compared to the race I watched in the previous session, this one was extremely clean.
Yeah, I've got to tell you, most impressive race I've seen or been a part of this week. A lot of talk on the forums this week about the draft track or the drafting nature of this track, and you've got those 2 chicanes in the middle of this extraordinary long straight. There's been incredible amount of incidents there with guys going from beyond their normal top speed into these chicanes, causing big incidents just through the unexpected change in pace, missing your braking markers, because you're really almost at threshold braking points at the end of those straights, and to have guys in and around you, not just 1 or 2, but sometimes 5 and 6 guys around you, all coming at different speeds because of the draft. It's been complicated messes at times. Really outstanding driving out there, really minimal incidents. For the most part, guys just made their own mistakes through corners. We saw one from Colin at one point as he went through Arnage on the final lap, costing him a better result. But realistically, the incidents around guys running into each other were really limited tonight. It's just a statement about the quality of the driving.
Certainly is, and this is another statement as well. Josh Anderson, he gets the fastest lap tonight. He did a 4:55.315. Now that's faster than what they qualified for, and I guess that is really showing how much that draft adds up.
Absolutely. So, yeah, as we said at the start, we thought we might see a 4:55 or thereabouts. You see most of the field getting into the 56s through the 58s, depending on how they were running. The draft has a big impact, of course. Ben with a 57.9, so 1.5 seconds slower as a fastest lap. Really shows you the impact of that draft, I guess, but also the quality of Josh. Like I said, he's a young guy who's run in this series before, moved on to other series, and just come back for a guest spot tonight. I read earlier in the server chat he hadn't done a lot of practice, and certainly hasn't done a race here in the Skippy, but just shows the sort of pace that he's got, as well as the tactics that he brought with him to break up that lead pack and fight for the win there at the end.
Yeah, and if people are wondering, pole position was secured. It was around about a 4:59, I think it was. And these guys, once they got into the draft, were lapping the fast guys 4:55, around the 4:57 mark.
Yeah, that's right, Bernie. The draft has that big impact. So does the single lap qualifying. Parts of the lap, your tyres and your engine haven't warmed up yet. You will see guys, even in clean air, when those things have occurred, the tyres and the engine have warmed up, they'll run a couple of seconds a lap quicker because of the different lines and confidence they have in the car. Plus, you've also got the variation you get with the different drivers here. Such a long track, not as complicated as Nordschleifer, as we mentioned before, not as much variation because of the number of corners, but you're still talking a lot of different lines. Guys cope differently with the different speed changes as they come into those chicanes, as I mentioned, and it's surprisingly challenging to find a good line through the back end of the track where you start going through the final series of corners. They're wide corners, big wide angles coming into the apex, but to get consistent through there is really challenging, and you will see quite a variety in the lap times as a result.
Yeah, and they can catch you out as well, can't they? Because they're nice and wide, but some of those corners, you tend to get a bit of a slide happening. I normally find the front end brakes, and I start getting a really wide line going through some of those corners.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the first half of the laps, it's pedal flat to the floor. Yes, there are two big chicanes there. They're not the world's most challenging chicanes, but the variation in speed is hard to cater to sometimes. Then you've got this beautiful Mulsanne corner at the end of that massive long straight. A lovely corner to get right, beautiful angles and a lovely run through. Then you've got another long straight and a couple of really challenging corners there, Indianapolis and Arnage. As you saw Colin get out at Arnage tonight, it's a tough one. No clear braking marker. What you would normally use, maybe the 50 mark or just behind. It's not soon enough, and you end up running wide and deep through that corner. And as we saw tonight, it brought Colin unstuck. But yeah, really quite a lot of variation there. Really high speed straights and some challenging corners to finish. It's a fascinating track, and you can see why it's so famous and popular.
Yeah, that's for sure. And they had the official iRacing Le Mans 24-hour over the weekend, which I'm not sure how the guys enjoyed that, but I know I'm looking forward to the Australian Endurance Championship. We've got the Le Mans coming up early next month for the final round of that. But let's have a quick look at the point score. Going into this round, we had Luke Whitten leading on 164 points. He was 1 week up. Enzo Cantor did not arrive tonight. Kevin Henderson, he was sitting in third. And then we had Simon Chambers in fourth and Stefano Poliniato in fifth. So having a look at that, I think Luke, out of the top five, well, Kevin retired, so Luke's the beneficiary here.
Absolutely. It looks like with both Enzo and Kevin failing to score points tonight, Luke's really going to step out in front. Again, drop rounds haven't come into play yet. Mick scored some points. He's running in sixth, so he'll probably jump Stefano there. I haven't checked the lower splits results. I'm just sort of pulling them up now. Simon Chambers in fifth position on the table. He didn't score any points tonight. He finished 13th in the second, so that'll put him in danger, I think, of dropping down. Mick will pass him. Russell Clark scored some points tonight, so he'll probably jump Simon as well. Enzo, of course, is you wouldn't even call him a dark horse. He's so dominant right up the front when he's racing. Here with us, he's now got 2 races in hand with still enough races left for him to fill his complement of 8. So I'd suggest he's still well and truly in the running, and I think tonight's absence won't have even cost him second spot if my maths is correct. But the series is shaping up. Luke's still out in front. He won't have scored as many points as he would like there in 5th spot tonight, but he may even end up using that as a drop round depending on how the balance of the season goes with his results. But still very interesting racing here tonight, Bernie, and a lot of fun to watch and be a part of.
It certainly was, and it was a fantastic racing, very clean racing, very technical racing when you think about the strategy being played out tonight. But yeah, it's always a pleasure calling these races. Also, folks, if you want a bit of entertainment and you didn't catch our Luke Spalding Memorial Cup coverage, when was that? Saturday night, I think it was. Not a very serious broadcast as far as commentating goes. We're making sure we had a lot of fun, and boy, did we have a lot of fun. You can tune into the replay of that on our YouTube channel. And looking forward this week, well, I'm going to have a bit of a break now, and we'll be back, let me think, next Monday night, I think, for the Monday Night Lights.
Yeah, look, I was disappointed I missed competing in the Memorial Challenge this week. I managed to tune in for some of it, as I was saying to you previously before we started tonight. I really enjoyed it. It was a light-hearted atmosphere and all towards a good cause. Of course, I think that people can still donate to that charity now, sending out iPads to kids suffering from cancer in hospital. So a fantastic cause that Luke set up there, and hopefully it continues to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, well, the guys are already looking at planning next year's one, but during the night we raised about $150. We're hoping that more will come in this week, because a lot of teams during the event pledged money, and it was interesting how they pledged. Some of them pledged on how many fast repairs they had, some of them pledged on how many off-tracks they had, and Yes, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. But Alex, as always, mate, it's a pleasure calling these races with you, and it's been another cracker tonight. I'm not sure where we're going next week, but I'm sure it's going to be just as exciting.
Yeah, we're off to Watkins Glen next week. I did a couple of practice laps there over the weekend. It's a very popular track again. I think we'll see a good turnout. Looking forward to it, doing my own driving there and then calling the Monday Lights again with you, Bernie. It's always a pleasure, a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this season so far more than I thought I would, being in the box, but you've made it a pleasure and a great deal of fun, mate. So thanks again for your support.
Yeah, no worries, mate. It's been a pleasure on this side as well. So, folks, your podium for tonight. Ben Furhoff takes the win, followed by Josh Anderson in second, and third was Alvaro Sanchez. Well, anyway, folks, it's that time of the night when we say good night. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage of the Monday Lights, and I look forward to your company next week. So on behalf of Alex McCullough, I'm Bernie Weemers, and we wish you a very good evening. Good night.